The Malach will go before you and bring you into the land of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, and the Shorts-Tutites. And I will cut them off. Notice, Yahweh will cut the enemies of Israel off if indeed we obey His voice. It always is conditional. Just because you are an Israelite doesn't mean you obey His voice, and doesn't mean you know Yahweh, and doesn't mean you're born again, because they are not all Israel who are Israel. Meaning, to be Israel, you've got to be physically Israel and spiritually born again. Deuteronomy 10:16. Circumcise your heart, saith Yahweh. Not just your foreskin, but your heart. So it is not as though the word of Yahweh has taken no effect in Israel. It has taken some effect in Israel, but only to the parts of Israel that are listening to His voice, that are obeying Him, the one who is called by Yahweh's name, who has the ability to pardon our transgressions, who led our forefathers, and today He stands ready to lead you into His promised land, heaven, and His home, if you hear His voice, and if you don't tempt Him, and if you don't provoke Him to turn to somebody else and to save them. If. Think about the love of Yeshua. Yeshua is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Ephraim 13:8, Malachi 3:6. I am Yahweh, I change not. The very one who saved our fathers and brought them from the Midbar into Eretz Avat Chalav Utvash is the same one who is ready to pardon us and lead us in the way back to the promised land. How about when you get back to the promised land? Then you can set up your little farm, your little nutrition village, and then you, even if the prime minister is not, even if the government is not, even if the leaders are not, you could set up your own community of growth and fruits and vegetables and practice Shemitah, the 7th year, land Shabbat. And let that land rest. Go back to Israel. Let the Malach Yahweh lead you back and tell you when is the right time to make Aliyah and to go back to the land of Israel. And then plant a little garden and plant some fruits and vegetables. Observe the Shemitah and watch what happens. I said watch what happens. Todah Rabah Yahweh. Todah Rabah Yahweh. You shall not bow down to their Elohim, all these nations that are in the land, nor serve them or do after their works. You will utterly overthrow them without fail, break down their images. Can we talk? Do you know why most people that are saved don't follow Torah? Do you know why? They know it's the road to blessing. They know it's the road to obedience and fruitfulness and abundance. You know why they don't follow it? Because they don't like to be told how to worship God. Yahweh says, these are my feasts. Yes, sir. This is my Shabbat. Yes, sir. When you pray, this is what you call me. Don't pick the name du jour. Don't pick your own name. This is what you call me. Meaning He has constrictions and He has guidelines, and people are so free, they figure they can just approach Him and show up before Him any way they want, without any repercussion, without any penalty, and they are sowing fruit, they are sowing death and disobedience in their life. Listen. And Yahweh says, no, you can't worship me free in the spirit. There is no such thing as free spirit worship without Yeshua. I'll say, you heard me say it a million times, and I'll say it again. No one has died in this congregation. I've been in this place for 11 years. I have never done a funeral. I've done funerals at other congregations. I've done funerals of people who have left this congregation. I've done funerals of visitors from New York. But I've never done a funeral of a member. Hello? That's better than healing. That's better than hey! Then they had those prayer lines. Every Sunday, got a prayer line. Why? Because what happened last Sunday didn't last 7 days. Come on up, get another prayer line. Why? Because whatever we did last Sunday has worn off. It's got to come back and get healed again. Sorry, you showed me one time in Scripture when Yeshua healed and it wasn't permanent. Go ahead and show it to me. I'll pay you $10,000. Show me when Yeshua healed and it wore off in 6 days. Show it to me. So isn't it better to have preventive medicine? Isn't it better to preach Torah, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay sanctified, and not have to worry about healing because the covering of Torah keeps us healed? Talk to me, somebody. You shall not bow down to those false Elohim or serve them. No, do after their works. You shall utterly overthrow them without fail, break down their images. You shall serve Yahweh your Elohim. He will bless your lechem. He will bless your mayim. He will take sickness away. The leper scholar. They don't like it. They're still angry. Some people have left this congregation. Read my lips. You'll know I don't have no concerns. I don't care. Bye. You know why? Because you didn't call me into the ministry and you're not keeping me in it either. I'm accountable to one man. And if I'm wrong about the leper scholar, Yahweh will show it to me. But he was the leper scholar here, was he not, Vincent? Look, it didn't just say Yahweh was going to send you to Cedar Sinai Medical Center if you were sick. Watch. He said if you will obey him, if you won't provoke his malach, if you'll submit to his malach, if you'll get with the program and say and pray and sing with the true name of Yahweh and all these other things, and you will not let the name of other Elohim come out of your lips, and you'll begin to observe the Shabbat and the Moadim and the Shemitah, Yahweh says, look, he says, I will not only bless your lechem and your ma'im, like they do in the church. Bless me, bless me. Many people in the church are in the bless me club. Bless my mama, bless my father, bless my uncle. The only reason the prayer meeting ends early, they run out of people to bless. We're already blessed. Don't come to our congregation to a prayer meeting and join the... No, actually I don't like the way we pray. Bless me, bless her, bless Bruno, bless Raina, bless me. That's not prayer. That's Gentile vain babbling. Prayer means a specific Yahweh with a specific purpose and a specific need, sealed and sanctified in the name of Yeshua. Yahweh says, I will carry sickness away. That sounds like the leper scholar to me, Lloyd. He said, you won't need a doctor. I am going to carry it. Well, if you carry it, you become it. Well, not so fast. That's a metaphor. Come on. Yahweh doesn't. Nothing on Highway 23 is metaphorical. When Yahweh said don't cook a kid in its mother's milk, was that metaphorical? When Yahweh said let the land rest every 7 years, was that metaphorical? Neither is this. When we obey Torah and we listen to his voice and we keep a Shabbat and we walk in a lifestyle of obedience, Yahweh says I will come into your sickness and I'll carry it away from you. That's what Isaiah 53 is all about. The leper scholar who takes your sickness and carries it away from you and from your house and from your loved one. Look at verse 26. There shall nothing miscarry, nor be barren in your land. The number of your days I will fill. You know what that means? We don't have to worry about premature death. If we obey Yahweh and follow his word, we may get sick, but it'll be carried away. We will not continue to miscarry. We will not be barren forever. Yahweh will make sure he fills the numbers of the days that he has ordained for your life. On Highway 23. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it better to speak in tongues and get healed every Sunday and then have the healing last for 6 days? Or is it better to obey Torah and occasionally when you do get sick, have Yahweh come through the leper scholar and take it away? It's much better when he comes and takes it away. Can I hear a good amen? I mean a really good amen. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Nothing shall miscarry or be barren. And the number of your days I will fill. I will send my reverence before you, and I will destroy all the people to whom you shall come in the land of Israel. I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you. I will send hornets before you. Woo, go for it, Yahweh. I will send hornets before you. We shall drive out the Hittite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before you. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the fields multiply against you. Focus in on that for a second. We're going to go another 2 hours, so don't worry. Focus in on verse 29 for a second. Just relax. Please don't do this, because those twitches don't work in our congregation, okay? Verse 29. Check this out. Check this out. On Highway 23. Riding down Highway 23. Is healing on Highway 23? Is deliverance on Highway 23? Is forgiveness of sins on Highway 23? Is coming and encountering the Savior Yeshua HaMashiach on Highway 20? The whole gospel, everything that pertains to life and Shabbat guarding piety is right here on Highway 23. The Jewish people don't need Matthew. The Jewish people don't need Luke. If you put them on Highway 23 and explain it to them in the Ruach HaKodesh, they will see the Malach Yahweh. They'll see him. You can't travel Highway 23 without meeting the Malach Yahweh that has Yahweh's name not on him but inside of him. Praise Yahweh. Now check this out. I want you to get this, brothers and sisters. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate. Meaning, Yahweh's saying, look, I can get rid of all the Palestinians and all the Hittites, Canaanites, Pervites, short too tight, strap too tight, blouse too tight. I can get rid of all the too tight Tonys. The problem is, you're going to have a land and you're going to have the beasts of the field to contend with. In other words, can Yahweh bring your husband to his senses? Not really. I'm going to slow down now. Chill out. Can Yahweh straighten out your children immediately? Not really. Can Yahweh give you new beginnings and a new career all at the same time? Husband, children, new job, new home. Can Yahweh do all these things instantly? Not really. I know that's what religion teaches, but do you see the principle here? Look at the principle. Yahweh says, if I do instantaneous deliverance, you'll be left with beasts of the field that multiply against you. Meaning, if I clean everything in your life, if I deliver everything in your life, if I bring victory into everything in your life instantaneously, then eventually you will forget Yahweh your Elohim. You will walk away from Yahweh your Elohim. You will not walk with Yahweh your Elohim because you will feel you don't need him anymore because you are completely healed and delivered. And then all the beasts of the field are going to start multiplying. All the demons, all the attacks of the enemy are going to start multiplying because now the one who walked with you, the friend, Proverbs 18:24, who sticketh closer than a brother, you feel like you don't need that brother anymore. You don't need that friend anymore. Now your dependence on Yahweh becomes an obscene and an obnoxious self-sufficiency. And boom. Now you walk through the valley of the shadow of death yourself. Now you have to pay your own rent on your own. Now you don't have a friend who sticks closer than a brother. The reason he's holding back instantaneous deliverance is if he gave you instantaneous deliverance in all the areas of your life, listen, you would be left with a whole bunch of demons laughing at you and mocking you because the beasts of the field in your life would be multiplied against you because you falsely think you've arrived at a place of self-sufficiency where you don't need to walk with Yeshua and you don't need to hear his voice and you don't need to do all that he says because after all, he has brought total victory. And so what is the principle? If Yahweh did open heart surgery and fix all your problems in 1 day or 1 hour, which he can, brother, sister, you die on the operating table with too much cutting. There's too many tumors. There's too much malignancy. There's too many things in your life. So Yahweh lets you live with these little problems, and then he cleans it up on Monday, and then he cleans it up on Tuesday, and then he cleans it up on Wednesday. Because if he came down and did an instantaneous deliverance, then you would die on the operating table from all the scars and the pain. How many open heart surgeries does a physician do open heart surgery at the same time that he does brain surgery? Does he schedule it for the same day? And we heard that word from Yahweh today. Patience. Time, patience. On the Highway 23 road, you realize, if I don't have children in this life, I don't care. Because through the gospel, I can witness and preach, and by the blood of Yeshua, I can bring many children into the family of Yahweh. I can have more children through preaching than I can physically. By relying on Yeshua, I can do what I can do, and he'll do what I can't do, and in the end, I'll have more finances and more material possessions by tithing 10% into fertile soil. And make sure it's fertile soil. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to the people on the radio. Be careful where you tithe, sweetheart. Because if you tithe in soil that's full of error and maggots, you're not going to get a good return. That's why I present Yaddy to you the way I do. It's fertile soil. When you sow, you will reap. Okay, let's continue. So Yahweh says, look, I won't drive them out before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field multiply. Now, when did Yahweh say this? How many years ago? 3,000 what? 3,500 years ago? And he still hasn't driven out the Palestinians, the Jordanians, the Syrians, the Allahu Akbaris. They're still there to this very day. So Yahweh says, I can do it in a year, but if I do it in a year, the beasts of the field will multiply against you. And here it is, 3,500 years later, and he still has not driven out the beasts of the field, especially the Islamic end-time beast. Why? That Yahweh may teach you that the children of Bnei Yeshua's synagogue do not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of Yahweh does he live.
Amen.
Todah Rabah Yahweh. I said Todah Rabah Yahweh. I'm not finishing yet, so don't get fidgety on me. Todah Rabah Yahweh. Here's Yahweh's formula for your life on Highway 23. It's got everything. Salvation, the true name, the Commonwealth of Israel, the Moadim, the Shabbat, how to live, how to eat. Don't let the fat stay in your house, you'll be tempted. Yeah, and the program for deliverance after we obey his voice. After we listen to what he says. When we do things Yahweh's way, you have no enemies. Look at that. Look at verse 22. Do you realize that? Do you realize if you stay on the Highway 23 road, do you realize you have no enemies and no adversaries? What does Yahweh do to your enemies, and what does Yahweh do to your adversaries? He shoots them up with Novocaine. He neutralizes them. He takes them out of your life. If you stay on the road, even if you move to the Bahamas, even if you move to Cuba, even if you move to Puerto Rico, if you stay on Highway 23, he will not only take sickness away from you, child of Yahweh, he will become an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries, leaving you no enemies and no adversaries. You know why? When a man's ways please Yahweh, he makes even his enemies to be in shalom with him. I have a lot of... Can we talk? I have a lot of enemies out in the world, you know that? But you know why they're all neutralized? You know why? Because I'm trying to love, to serve Yahweh and his people. If it was up to me, you wouldn't see me again. You wouldn't see me again. You know where I'd be? That's right. Good guess. The Fort Myers, the Vici. Retire with a big laptop, doing all my broadcasting over the internet. And I don't have to put up with the baby stuff, the Hawaiian punch stuff, and the ketchup spills that go on here every week. He spilled my ketchup. He didn't talk to me. He didn't look at me. He forgot to shake my hand. I don't know. There's something. I don't know what it is. It's something. It's something. Something's not right. What is? Do you know? Talk to him. I'll go to Fort Myers Beach, sit at the ocean, put on Fox News, and do all my preaching on the internet. I have more listeners. And I don't have to put up with the ketchup and all the baby stuff that goes on here. But see, I take myself off Highway 23. I wouldn't be obeying his voice. So that's no longer an option, is it? Not an option. Not an option. Praise Yahweh. Not an option. Here's Yahweh's plan and formula. Verse 30. Little by little, I will heal your marriage. Little by little, I will heal your children's hurts and pains. Little by little, I will bring sanity into your family. Little by little, I will make you the head and not the tail. Little by little, I will make you from above and not beneath. Little by little, I will make you the favored and not the driven out. Little by little, and there it is, Yahweh's program for discipleship. We find Yahweh's program for discipleship right here on Hgwy 23. Vincent, he's going to deliver you of all your sickness and all your sorrow, and because many are the affliction of the righteous, but Yahweh delivers him out of them all, somebody. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahweh delivers him out of them all. I have been old and I have been young, but I have never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I've seen poor folks, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed. And I've been young and old, but I've never seen that. Toda Rabba Yahweh. Little by little. At laat. In Ivrit, be'Ivrit. At laat. Little by little. I'll drive out all these tithes before you. And you will be increased. And you will inherit the land. Why? Because we obey the Malach Yahweh's voice. Because he's turning our enemies into his enemies, and our adversaries into his adversaries, because we don't provoke him anymore. We don't argue with him. He has pardoned our transgression, and we've learned the true name, and the Malach goes before us. He guides us in the way, the truth, and the life. Because Yahshua said in Yochanan 10:10, I am the way, ani ha'derech, ani ha'chayim, v'ani ha'emet. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to Abba except through me. He guides us in the way, in the derech. He brings us to that prepared place, but not in a day, and listen, maybe not in a lifetime. What happens if Yahweh wants to heal you, but in the next life? Are you willing to go with the program? What happens if Yahweh wants to give you cities and municipalities to rule over, but not in this life? You're not going to be the mayor of North Miami Beach, but you will be the mayor of parts of Jordan, and you will be the governor of parts of Syria and parts of Turkey. You will get the land that he has promised you. You're going to have to be patient because he is releasing it to you little by little. Praise Yahweh. And boy, that bothers us because honestly, sometimes we get impatient. Let's be honest. So Yahweh says, little by little, I will drive all these obstacles out from before you until you are increased and until you inherit the land. And I will set your borders from the Sea of Reeds, Yam Suf, even to the Sea of the Plishtim. Saudi Arabia, Mecca, right near the Sea of Reeds. Even to the Sea of the Plishtim, that's the Mediterranean. From the desert of Mitzrayim to the river Euphrates, I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you will drive them out from before you. Can we talk? I'll start winding down if you continue to listen. Our leaders are blind. They're blind guides. And if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into the ditch. Our unrighteous leaders in Israel are not obeying Shemitah. They're not obeying the land Sabbath. And if they don't change course, Yahweh will throw our Jewish people off the land again until we learn to give the land its Shemitah. We're big, as Messianics, we're big on Shabbat. And we're big on Moedim. We know almost nothing about Shemitah. Almost nothing. It's something we need to study. And we do have tapes and teachings on Shemitah. Yahweh said, I will set your borders. I will set your borders. Not the United Nations. Not the United States. Not the Republicans. Not the Democrats. Not the Israeli prime ministers. I will set your borders little by little. If you get with the program, if the Malach Yahweh is leading you, if Yeshua is your Savior. You know, if Yeshua was Savior of the Jewish people today, there would be no war with the Muslims. Did you realize that? You realize they wouldn't be at war if Yeshua was their Savior? But they're not traveling the Hgwy 23 road. They're trying to travel part of the Hgwy 23 road without the Malach Yahweh to lead them and guide them and bring them into the land that he has prepared for them little by little. They're trying to do it in their own strength. Can I hear a good amen? I will set your borders. Thank you, Yahweh. Yahweh said, I will set your borders if, look at the end of verse 32. Now stay with me because I don't want you to miss this. I will set your borders if you drive them out. Look at me. Please look at me. What are we doing? We're driving them in. Hamas, you take the Gaza. Mahmoud Abbas, you take the Palestinian occupied West Bank. The Hgwy and the clerics. You take Har Moriah. You take Mount Moriah. So instead of driving them out and letting Yahweh secure our borders, we're driving them in. And Yahweh says, and that's why you will never know peace until Mashiach comes. You'll get on the Highway 23 road. One way or another, I will bring you to the Highway 23 road. You'll get there with secure borders, or you'll get there becoming a victims to the ones that I told you to drive out, and you continue to drive these people into the land. So who's right? Likud, Labor, the centrist party of Ehud Omer? Will Netanyahu change things if Netanyahu comes back into power? Any Israeli leader that does not allow the land Shemitah, any Israeli leader that does not habitually, continually, with forethought, drive out these squatters will never have Yahweh securing their borders. They will rely on man and man-made organizations to secure their borders, and we've seen how secure that's been in the last 60 years. Can I hear a good amen? I said, can I hear a good amen? And why do you think Yahweh allowed Sharon to be in a coma? Former Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon. When he walked to the Temple Mountain, he said, get out. He said, the Jews are going to pray here from now on. I'm in charge. And he preached Ezekiel 37, the restoration of the two sticks becoming one in Yahweh's hand.